Oh, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on whenever you're watching this. My name is EJ Sparks from the Dragon Geeks channel, and you guys have now tuned in to another episode of SH Figuarts vs. Dragon Stars. And this episode is featuring that Super Saiyan boy from the future. That's right, Dragon Ball Super's Trunks. And you already know what it is. We are going to talk about articulation, we're going to talk about paint and detail, and we're going to scale these bad boys with other figures to see how they stand, and in the end, we'll let you know if they are worth the buy and who wins out in this battle. So, y'all know the deal by now. Seatbelts on, strap in, and let's begin. Alright guys, let's jump right into it. We're going to go ahead and start with SH Figuarts Trunks. And I gotta say, off first sight, I love this guy. He looks very, very good. So let's go ahead and take a look up close and see what we got here. So as for paint and detail, well, I'll just say his hair looks spectacular. That nice shade of blue that he's got in Dragon Ball Super, which was never explained. When you get that close up on his face, that looks really nice. That definitely looks like Trunks from the anime. We come down to like the scarf or the bandana, whatever is around his neck, and that's pretty cool. Like you see the rips on there. I went ahead and threw the sheath on there, and that along with the sword looks really good. Of course, we got the Capsule Corp logo, we got the tears on here, so everything like paint and detail wise looks great. We look at the pants, he's got some nice shading going through there, and the detail looks really good. Just like the boots look great as well. We'll go and jump right into articulation. This figure is actually one of the best articulated figures that I've seen. So I'm starting with the head. It looks like his head is on like a ball peg, but he looks down about that much. He can look all the way down, and he can look up pretty far as well. Of course, look side to side. We have the bicep swivel going on here, as well as the double jointed elbow on both sides. And you look at the scarf here, it's kind of hard to tell because I got the sheath under there, but like the scarf around his neck, oh, there we go, got it to move. It is articulated. Oh wow, I didn't even notice. This piece in here actually connects the scarf, so like it can stay in there so it's not moving. So that's pretty cool that that's articulated in there. We got a nice little ab crunch going on, so he can lean over about that far, and he can lean back pretty good as well. And then even like this belt, the belt itself is articulated. We come down and he is on that 2.0 body, so front kicks come all the way up pretty far. Same thing with the back kicks. And let's see, splits. Splits don't come out too far, but it looks like the left leg is a little bit better than the right. So if you want to get him in like a side kick or something, it goes up about that far, so it looks decent enough. So no complaints there. We have the double jointed knee, and we got the ankle rocker, and we got a nice little tiny bend at the toe there. So articulation is pretty on point for this guy. I have zero complaints. And let's go ahead and jump right into this guy's accessories. Alright, so this guy has some of the best accessories I have ever seen. Like over here to the left, we do have the Gallic gun, like key blast attack that you're able to put in one of his hands. We have his full sword right here. We have the broken sword from Dragon Ball Super, but it also goes in his sheath. And we have the sort of spirit sword right here that he got in the fight with Zamazu. And then as for the other faces, we have his Super Saiyan Rage looking face right here, kind of looking off to the right. We have a different plate right here, which is kind of a yelling face. Then we have a yelling face for his base form. Then as for the hands, we have the two open hands right here, and you see the hole in that one? That is for that Gallic gun effect, which is awesome. We also have the two open palm hands as if he's shooting off a key blast, and we have the two gripping hands that you can use to hold his sword, and one more open hand. So this figure's accessories are freaking amazing, and they are bang on 10 out of 10. Alright, you know, before we scale this bad boy, I think I'm going to switch his face, because that is one thing I don't really care for this figure, is that his mutual face is that smiling face, which of course he was smiling in the anime, but not so much. So we're going to go ahead and pull off this headpiece here, this front plate, if we can get it to work with this. Okay, comes off. It's pretty tight joints on here, but tight joints are a lot better than like super loose joints, I always say. So go ahead and pop this head on right here, this face on I should say. Pop the hair back on, and bingo. yeah, Yelling Face looks pretty darn good. So now we're going to go ahead and scale him with some other SH Figuarts that I do have here with me. So we'll go ahead and start with his father. We have Vegeta right here. So they scale fairly well together. Vegeta's pretty short. And so Trunks, let's go ahead and get him to stand straight up right here. Yeah, that looks decent. They do scale well next to each other. It's not like one is like towering over the other. And also, since they all fought against Black and Zamasu together, here is a Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Gonna scoot these guys over here. And Goku is taller than both Trunks and Vegeta, so that scale is pretty on point as well. Doesn't look bad. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try and work these swords in here as well as the Super Saiyan heads and see how they look on him. Alright, here we go, guys. Here's that Super Saiyan face on Trunks, that Super Saiyan Rage face, and this face looks absolutely wow. There's plenty of shading in the hair, the detail looks great, and the facial expression is pretty darn on point as well. And we're going to go ahead and test out the sword. I didn't want to do it off camera just in case we're unsure how it works. So, we have Trunks' sword right here. In order to put it in his hands, you got to take off this bottom piece right here. Pop it off. Make sure you don't lose that piece. And again, it's kind of a tight fit, but you can just slide it right on in there. Okay, you can make them hold it with one hand, or you can do both hands. Go ahead and pop it in on that other side. The butterfly joints definitely help with that. Okay, and then you can just pop that piece right back on at the end there. Okay, so this is Super Saiyan Trunks holding that sword. Wow, it just looks great. I have zero complaints, and of course the sword is kind of pokey, so be careful there. But yeah, it looks really good. Like, just to stand them in your display looks amazing. But I'm going to go ahead and test out the one that everybody else wants to see, and that's the Spirit Sword. Let's jump right into that. And here is Trunks holding the Spirit Sword. Wow, what a beauty. I know a lot of people are worried about how this guy's going to stand, because this thing is massive. Look at this. Look at how massive this thing is. But he does stand if you can get him in the right pose. I actually had some issues myself trying to get him to stand, but he definitely does, and he looks great. Like, he'll fit in any display. If you have merged Zamasu, then he'll fit right in with him. You can put him with Goku or Vegeta, and it just looks spectacular. They got the detail on this sword just right, so looks great, guys. Alright, guys, final verdict on this guy. I mean, there's not even much to say just because his accessories are so good and everything about this figure just looks spectacular. And like I said, the only complaint I have is that he doesn't have a stern mutual face with his mouth closed. Otherwise, this figure is just about perfect. I go ahead and give it a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it's just about a perfect figure with all the accessories and everything it comes with. It doesn't get much better than this, seriously. Now, it is running a bit pricey right now. There are people selling this for $100+. I've seen it for $120, $130. I was lucky enough to get mine for about $85. So yeah, if you want a beautiful Trunks in your display, he is definitely 100% worth it. And with that being said, let's move on to Dragon Stars. Alright, moving on to Dragon Stars Trunks. I got both my base form and my Super Saiyan Trunks here, just because they are pretty much the same figure. So we'll just go ahead and grab the base form Trunks here and we'll take a look at a few things. So at first glance, this figure does not look too bad. This is honestly one of my favorite Dragon Stars figures, because when you look at his face looks great. His face really looks great. And that's saying a lot, because a lot of the Saiyan faces for Dragon Stars, they just don't look like themselves, and it looks like it was just kind of a sloppy job done. But this one, the eyes, the detail around the eyes, the color, like the yelling face, even the hair they got right. So this figure at first sight looks freaking beautiful. Alright, and we got, of course, the scarf around his neck, or the bandana. It doesn't have the detail like SH Figuarts, but it's all good. I think the jacket and everything else looks good. The paint looks on point, and his pants look a little bit on the shiny side, but nothing too crazy. And boots look okay as well. So, yeah, when it comes to paint and detail, he looks really good. When we get into articulation, that's where this toy kind of falls. So you can't really move his head. It can move side to side a little bit, but you can't move it up or down. So it's like he's always looking down. His face is like buried in that scarf. So that's a real huge disappointment. But he does have the bicep swivel kind of tied on there. He's got the double jointed elbow as well. And of course, no butterfly joint or ab crunch. And once we get to the lower half I don't really care for, because you can't do front kicks like at all. Like, that's about as high as it comes up. Like, even trying to turn it out to the side is a bit of a struggle, and it just looks really bad. We got a single jointed knee on there, not much of an ankle rocker, and that's pretty much it. For splits, he has about that much range, and side kicks will look like that. And as for the Super Saiyan Trunks, it's pretty much the same thing. The difference is because he is in that Super Saiyan form, he's got that lighter shade on his jacket as if he's like powered up, so everything's lighter, except the pants are like darker and then the boots are lighter. But this face on the Super Saiyan Trunks just looks god awful. Like, the hair looks decent enough. It would look a bit better if it was like spikier, but like that face right there proves my point about what I said about Dragon Stars. It looks just awful. And since we are comparing the two figures, when we look at the two Super Saiyan faces like next to each other, I'd just say it's kind of a no-brainer right there. Yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and scale this guy with some other figures. Or actually, we're gonna jump into accessories. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's go right into that. Alright, here we go. So right over on this side, this is base form Trunks accessories, and this is the Super Saiyan Trunks accessories. Okay, so both of them come with the open hands here, and they each come with 2 fist hands and 2 like sword gripping hands, so they're both able to hold the sword, so pretty neat. And they both come with the sword pieces that you can put in their sheath, and of course they both come with their big beautiful swords. Okay, but also because these were earlier releases in the Dragon Stars line, the Super Saiyan Trunks does come with the merged Zamasu Build-A-Figure part, and the base form Trunks comes with, I think it's Broly's left or right leg he comes with. So for this Trunks, accessories are not bad, especially for it being Dragon Stars. Not bad at all. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use Super Saiyan Trunks here, and we'll go ahead and stand them up against Goku Black, which is still one of my favorite Dragon Stars as well, and that looks really good up against each other. And we move him to the side and we go ahead and put the base form Trunks here. Also looks very well. And we'll go ahead and move Black out the way and go ahead and put Dragon Stars Zamasu right here. They scale fairly well together. So scaling not too bad. No real complaints there. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other stuff for this figure. I mean, like we mentioned in the accessories with the sword, you can just pop this bad boy right out, and you can go ahead and put his sword in his hand. Oh, it's kind of like weird bendy plastic, so it's definitely not going to look as good as SH Figuarts, especially trying to get the sword in there. Jeez. Oh goodness, now it's like bended all crazy. But doesn't look too bad with the sword. Looks pretty cool. Alright, for what it is. And yeah, that's about it. I think it's time for us to jump into our final verdict here. Alright, figureheads, final verdict on this Trunks. It's really hard to say just because, like I said, this base form Trunks is one of my favorite Dragon Stars figures. But it does have its problems. It definitely does. And right now they're running for about $20 a piece. So for the price point, it's not terrible. But like with the lack of articulation, especially with the head, the lower body just being very hard to work with, and the atrocious look on the face of the Super Saiyan Trunks, I'll give this figure, we'll give him like a 7.5 out of 10. Like, it's not the worst figure in the line, but it could be so much better with just a couple of tweaks. And off that note, let's jump right into our final verdict. Alright guys, and the final verdict on this battle right here, I honestly think the clear-cut winner goes to SH Figuarts for multiple reasons. Even if just for the accessories alone, it completely blows Dragon Stars out of the water. However, if you are looking for a better price and a figure to just, kind of scale or stand in, then, I mean, this Trunks is not too bad, honestly. Like I said, $20 figure versus like a $130 figure. So you do the math. But as always, guys, it is very much up to you. It is all about what you want and what you are looking for. So tell me which one you prefer and tell me which one you think is the clear-cut winner. Alright? Well, thank you guys so much for rocking with me on another episode of SH Figuarts vs. Dragon Stars. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the page for more content. I will catch you all on the flip side.
Shout out!